Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Broken Berean. And today we're going to be looking at what's going on with Assassin's Creed Shadows. Now, I've never played Assassin's Creed. I know a lot of friends that do and have loved the games over the years. I have some friends that are very adamant that some of them are terrible and they ruined everything. There's always that one game that just ruined it for them. But I still have some that are excited for Assassin's Creed Shadows. And I think when this franchise started, I was pretty fully consumed with World of Warcraft at the time, or just getting out of World of Warcraft. Like it consumed me so much, I just had to delete it and delete everything. And that's when I took my big long gaming break till a few years ago. And I have to take this article as something to be considered. Now, obviously there's going to be mention of DEI and in this because they did make, I believe, Yasuke or the female protagonist to be an option, and like I said, romance options. And that aside, what this article comes down to is there is a change.org petition by Japanese gamers that want Ubisoft to not change, go back to the drawing board, but to just straight up shelve this project and never release it. And mostly it comes down to three things. And the first one is they are upset with the highly romanticized version of the real African man who served briefly uh, as a hand to a shogun, I believe is the term. And I don't quote me on that. I think it mentions it here in the article, but he wasn't a full-on shogun samurai. Um, but and it, I know it seems, but that's part of Japanese culture, and they don't like it that they're changing, presenting it as fact. Even though this is a game, this is a fictional game. If you make it about a culture and that culture doesn't like it, you should listen. Now, I don't think a petition is going to change anything Ubisoft does, honestly, but I think the petition is out there because a lot of them are upset with how it portrays the historical Japanese era that this game is supposed to take place in. Now, I think another one was, oh yeah, they thoroughly misunderstand the nature and the role of the samurai, and I believe that comes from a Western look at how we've romanticized samurai in our movies and media, and it's translated to this game. But I don't think I don't think they're trying to be intentional in changing the history or offending Japanese gamers. It's just what happened. And the petition has 21,456 signatures with a goal of 25,000. So they're close. And the majority of the signatures are from Japanese gamers. And I did click on the link, and I'm sorry, I can't read Japanese or speak it. I can barely get some of the pronunciations right. So I can't say exactly what it says, but I'll put a link into this article in the description below. If you do and you want to go explore exactly specifically what it says and you can speak Japanese, go right ahead. Please do, because I do not know. But yeah, here it also mentions one of the comments: if it's fiction, I can forgive it, but can't tolerate such falsehoods and falsehood as faithful to historical facts as Yasuke as a black samurai. And this is one of those things that the article mentions way down here. I'm trying to find it again. There it is. there's an ongoing battle on the Wikipedia page for Yasuke's uh, Wikipedia page from historians and actual historians and historical activists. I don't think making someone look better than they were in history serves any purpose except personal. Um, yeah, I mean, he is what he is. He was a very important character. He was a very distinct person in that era, and changing who he was kind of diminishes who he was. And whether you think it makes it look better, it makes it look worse from the other side. So I can see what they're saying, but they a lot of this just comes down to the Japanese gamers think this is an offensive game to them. And like I said, I don't think this is going to change anything. I think it's going to get released regardless. But it is nice that those who are among this culture, who are this culture, who lived in generations in the Japanese culture, of the Japanese people, have a say in how they're portrayed. Now, it may change absolutely nothing, but I do think that that's what the point of this is they don't want to be silent because silence equates to agreement. So they want it to be known that there's a lot of Japanese gamers out there that do find this game offensive, not just for the LGBTQ stuff, but because of the way they're changing and misrepresenting Japanese history. And I completely understand that. If that was done to any other culture, I'm sure that culture would be upset about it. And I fully stand in support of these Japanese gamers that their their primary purpose is to say that this is offensive because you are mistreating our history and our legacy, and we find it offensive. Now, I don't know if any other of the Assassin's Creed games. I think a lot of them took place in the Middle East, I believe. Like I said, I've never played these games, and I don't know if they were true to that. I would like to think that they were faithful, and this is just one of those games that they just changed too much and offended the gamers, or is if this is a continuation of something Assassin's Creed the franchise does. I don't know. And I think this is an issue that has to be accepted. This is a status. A group of people don't like a game about them, about the history of their people. Fair enough. I think their voices should matter more than any of the other voices that have voiced concerns about this game because they are the subject. Their history is the subject matter of this game. So I don't know what's going to happen. Like I said, if anything, I doubt Ubisoft does it. They're too far. They're close to launch, and I just think it's going to go through. And I don't think the sales of this game in Japan are going to do well, obviously. But we'll just have to see what happens. But I do think maybe Ubisoft needs to really consider what they do next for the next installment of Assassin's Creed and to treat that history and that culture with respect. And even though it's fiction, you need to be respectful of that culture, even unless you just completely fictionalize everything as a different historical group that never existed. Great, go for it. But it gets a little touchy when you start touching on actual history, and people are going to get upset. So that's my opinion. I, as far as Assassin's Creed goes, I could care less. I have no dog in this fight because I don't really play any of the Assassin's Creed games. So I'm just like, okay, I'm just sitting here watching what's going on and how it unfolds. So we'll just have to see what happens, and let's hope that even if this game comes out, they do better next time because there's no other way around it. It has to be done better next time. So, until next time, my friends, as always, I love you all, and there's nothing you can do about it.